Okay, so before I start my normal intro music, Human Hope family, I have the Black Aunties gong here in the building. I added a little spice to that, and so they're in front of me. I can see them on my computer screen. And normally I start the episode with the song, but I wanted to just give a little. Just let everybody know that they're with me during the intro. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the intro song. I'm going to do what I normally do to all the bag ladies here. And I just need you to grade me on my intro. When I'm done, I need you to give me 1 to 10, like how hyped do you feel it is? Could I do better? Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Human Hope Podcast. And I got one thing to say. Y'all ready? Men, women, and children, hope is in the building. That's what I wanted. It is episode 115, 116, or something like that of the Human Hope Podcast. Hey, what do y'all think about that?
Let's go! Come on! You about to drop bars. Hope is in the building. Men, women, and children, hope is in the building. Hey! Men, women, and children, hope is in the building. Hey!
That's it. You got it. You got it. You got it. That was exactly what I needed to happen. I have only been slinging those lyrics for the last 2 weeks. Those are brand new. I had my intro music going, and I never knew what to say when the beat dropped. So I was asking my my podcast listeners. I was like, "What do I say there?" I kept messing up the rhymes. I would try a new rap. Nothing would work. And there was a guy named Rory who McManus who he DM'd me. He's like, "Hey man, listen, I'm a former Christian rapper. Like I don't like to admit this, but I think I got it for you." And I was like, "You think you got it for me?" And he's like, "Yeah." So this is what you do. Like the beat drops. He's like, "Men, women, and children, hope is in the building." And I was like, "Oh yes." And now I'm going to do that forever. So, hey, you know what? We're going to do that one time. Hang on. Hey, hold on. Here we go. Men, women, and children, hope is in the building. Yes. Well, welcome again. I love you ladies. I wish we could be sitting in the same room right now, but I am in Dallas, Texas, and you are all in Nashville, Tennessee. Say hello to the Human Hope family.
Wait, what did you say?
Oh, yeah, you missed what I said. I said say hello to the Human Hope family.
I think he said something else.
The way y'all looked at me, the way you just kind of stopped and you all looked into the camera so intently, I was like, they did not hear what I had to say. Okay, so I just need a little introduction. And what I love about this is I've had a few of you on the podcast before, but this is officially the entire crew. You are all here. Let's start with who I see on my left in the bright red. Corinne, let us know who you are. Give us your name and what role you play in this little gang of yours.
My name is Corinne, and I'm the funniest person here.
Hey.
I have 15 degrees. I am the greatest singer in the group.
Yes.
I also am a choreographer.
Okay.
I'm a music executive. I also
am a clown.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
One of those things are true.
One of them aren't true, but the rest are.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Corinne, for Corinne initially was like my initial, maybe a couple years ago, initial text to see if you could gather your people who initially a few years ago were simply all the women that I wanted to hang out with at one time because I would be jealous of all of your gatherings together that were nothing but all of you laughing. And I just was like, I need to somehow infiltrate this thing and just feel all the love. So thank you, Corinne, for kind of being the catalyst to get this thing together here. And then moving on over, if you're watching on YouTube, you see the beautiful one in the black top, the first of the two black tops here. Introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Melinda, and I feel like I'm the mama.
You
Okay.
love some titles.
You just gave yourself 20 titles.
But they were true.
None of them were true. I'm the oldest.
Okay. Okay.
So they have to listen to me, basically.
They have to listen to yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so whatever.
Okay. I love it.
I'm not mad at it.
But what do you do? What do you do for a living?
I sing songs,
You
and
do.
I help with the mental health of artists.
Yes, I love that.
Yes, he does.
Very good. Very good. Okay, thank you, Melinda. Moving on over back down towards the front.
Hi, I'm Sarah.
Sarah.
Caressing my face. I am the
She's
one
a
who gets
songwriter.
picked on. I was trying to think of my role.
She's
in
a
the group.
moderator.
You are
a moderator.
Excellent moderator.
Okay, yeah, you're an excellent moderator. Yes. You can handle all. You can handle all of the things that they dish out to you, and somehow make it all make sense.
You know, it's a heavy crown, but somebody has to do it. And in life, I work for our church, the Belonging Co., and I am a singer-songwriter.
You are, and you sang a song at my book launch party that made me cry. It was so good.
For you,
You're so talented.
Anything for you, Los.
Love you. And then moving on back to the next one into the black top. Introduce yourself to the people.
Hey y'all, I am Sharon, and I don't know.
Oh my God.
You got a dog in your lap.
You had three different times.
I know, but I
Get
don't.
ready.
I don't. Yes. Okay. Yes. My name is Sharon. I work with Sarah at our church, and as far as in the group, I am the I don't know
Enforcer.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
the
Wow.
enforcer and closer.
There you go.
Yay.
And is.
Facts.
Okay, well, what was the second word? The enforcer and the what?
And the closer.
And the closer.
And a
Okay.
little bit of joy bomb.
Okay. I get it. I'm gonna have to come back to that. And then moving over, last but not least, to the beautiful young lady in the baseball cap. Introduce yourself, please.
My name is Candace. My role in the group, I would say I enjoy a good laugh.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's the instigator.
She is the
I am not the instigator.
Yes, you
I am
are
not the instigator.
You're the one who
wisdom
knows all
too.
to fall apart.
I enjoy a good laugh, and I enjoy a good moment for counsel.
Come on.
Yes. That's why Candace.
And in my
Okay.
Girl,
and on the work front, I work in the music industry, and
You do.
I do. I work in the music industry,
she a
and I
boss.
run a pretty big team and make things happen.
And
I love
dude,
it.
yeah.
Do you work like in K-pop or?
No, not yet. I work in country music.
Country music,
specifically.
okay.
Actually, saying that is very interesting. But yeah, I work in country music.
Yeah.
Been in Nashville for 16 years, and yeah, these are my girls.
Yes, and you guys are. It's so hard, I think, even for people that maybe follow your Instagram account online or maybe start listening to your podcast to truly understand the connection that is just so real and thick and rich between the five of you. I'm just going to kind of throw a softball out there and just say, what was the reason that this thing came together? Like what was it? Like, when did it happen? Why did it happen? What was kind of the beginning of you guys going like, you know what, this is great for us, but I wonder if this is great for other people too. Speak into that, anybody.
Sarah.
Well, we had all known each other from our church and knew about each other, but the aunties, what you see now, was really cemented in the aftermath of 2020. And being Black in America in 2020 was a very interesting thing when the world paused and it seemed like for the first time no one could run away from this discussion. And because no one could run away, we were being bombarded with things to process ourselves, with questions from other people. And this friendship really became a haven. Speaking of haven, our little mascot. Oh my God, Corinne just puts her on the couch. Our mascot haven.
Oh, who almost evaporated before our eyes.
So sorry.
Sharon got quiet because Sharon's about to turn mama. Okay, anyway, this friendship just became a haven for us because having a similar experience, we're all at the same church, all in Nashville, all our transplants to Nashville, all Black women in leadership positions, all just, we have so much in common, and there's just an understanding of that.
Yes.
And because we understand each other, it just was like, I don't have to explain. I can just be. And that, just our friendship birthed from that.
Somebody talk to me about this. You know, you're 5 incredibly intelligent, beautiful leaders. Is really all of you are in leadership capacities in some way, shape, or form, and you come together because there is a common storyline that runs through all of you. But what I'd love for somebody to unpack is, like, just because you have a common storyline and just because you all feel maybe some of the same things doesn't mean that you all agree on everything. Doesn't mean that all of your worldview and experiences is all the same. And so what I love to do is to you guys, I think you're a great example of how you have a common thread that holds you all together, yet there could be various points of views on a whole bunch of different things. How do you all navigate that? Because I think what a lot of us see is like just the joy and the, everything is just a party, but things have to get complicated at some point. Like, how do you all navigate when points of view are different than other people's?
I would say, I think that's actually the beauty of this group, is that we don't share the same points of view. Like, we, in any given instance where something happens, we may land on different sides of it, and that helps us to see the whole picture. I think if you all land in the same place, you're not seeing everything. And
yes,
for this group of people, when we land on different sides, it's so helpful because then we're like, okay, now I can see the whole picture and I can be aware of what really is going on. And some of us handle things differently. Some of us, something will happen and somebody might be angry about it. Somebody might be sad. Somebody might be indifferent. And out of that comes joy for us because we're able to share our place and then also laugh it out. Get that out of our system. It helps us to be able to handle things better.
Yeah, no, so good. I'm just gonna start calling on people because I've got questions for everybody. Candace, so 2020 comes. We are we're all faced with a lot, just a lot. Let's just say that, a lot, and. I think for the casual listener, they're thinking, oh my gosh, Candace is a Black woman working in country music. That whole thing kind of like drops and people would think, again, this is me pre-2020. I'm thinking to myself, oh, I know a couple people in country music, but my general assumption is maybe I'm not going to be as welcomed in that world as some of my white friends. Talk to us for a second about what that experience was like for you, because you're still in country music in 2023. You were in country music in 2019. And so talk to us a little bit about what that journey looked like for you. And then just so everyone else knows, I'm going to throw the question to the rest of you and say, how has that journey been for you guys to help her walk through that as well? So just know that I'm going to throw the question to the 4 of you in a second. But Candace, you kind of unpack that first, however you feel comfortable unpacking that.
Yeah. I think prior to 2020, when I think things really kind of were on the map with what was happening globally, and then how the spotlight kind of focused on various industries, one being the racial intersection, the global discussion, and now music industry. And so in Nashville, obviously country music comes up. But before 2020, I had been sewing into this industry for 13 years prior.
Yes.
So for me, it was the moment when 2020 arrived and now people are starting to come and ask me questions, or now kind of start asking me about my experience that they had never even thought about before. So on one side, it felt great to be able to bring people into what is the experience of a Black woman that's living in Nashville, that's working in country music. Yes. And then the second part of that was, it was great to be able to highlight all of the areas that we still need to grow in. Yeah. We talk about kind of diversifying, and is it a welcoming spot? Is it not? And so being able to engage in those conversations to be actually helpful for the future, I loved that. And then the third part, which I probably still am navigating, is the tough part of it's heavy. Yeah. And I didn't realize how isolating the experience had been for me until 2020 forced me to reckon with it. Yeah. And I still am, to be honest. And there's some days where I really feel that like I'm on the cause and there's purpose in it, and I know God has placed me here. And there's other days where I'm like, why God? You know? and these things do coexist. But this group, I mean, I'll let them speak into how we kind of all talk about it. But yeah, that's what I'd say. It was kind of interesting for it to be reflective of over the last 10 years I was here, and then from 2020 till now, just ways that can be helpful and useful, be a trailblazer for folks that are coming in behind me, which means that there's not a roadmap for me going ahead because it's not been done. No. I mean, literally not been done. I mean, you are blazing. You are literally with the bulldozer hitting forward and knocking things down in order to make that happen. And I know that is heavy, you know, and I know that there's days where you're right. Like you feel like the wind beneath your wings is lifting you up and you're like, oh my gosh, look at me, I'm soaring. But then there's some days where it does probably feel like today's a heat wave in Dallas. I don't even want to stand outside, but sometimes you're in a heat wave pushing a boulder, you know, down a road. And so all of that being said, you know, these women next to you were able to come and lift your arms and be, you know, wind, you know, behind you. Ladies, talk to us about how you were that for her, and maybe some of the conversations that maybe we weren't privy to, that you guys were able to, you know, help Candace with.
I'll just start by saying, the amount of respect I have for this woman.
Gracious.
In the age, I'm trying not to like get all.
Let's go. Let's get all. Don't you try not to get all nothing. That's your podcast. I want you to get all everything.
In the age of social media has allowed us to idolize our worldviews and ideologies to the point where we don't have to listen to other people. And the thing that Candace does is she has her worldview, she has her ideologies, but she holds it so loosely so that she can humbly serve others, look at others, make way for others, so that even in the moments where she is accosted by her fears or whatever situations are around, it doesn't shake her, because she comes at it with such I'm here because Jesus said I'm here and I'm here to serve. And I watch her day in, day out, in the hard times, in the times where she's honored, in the times where maybe it didn't look like she thought it was going to look like, and she still showed up, she still served, she's still honored others. And it's easy to hold someone's arms up like that because she weaponize her ideology. She actually uses it in a way that unleashes hope for others. And like other people might look at her journey and be like, oh, she's actually justified to retaliate or to do whatever. And when I tell you she doesn't, it's like, because I think that's a challenge for all of us. It's like, we want to be justified to be our own defense. And it's like, what happens if you don't strike first and you actually defend by loving? And that's what the girl does.
So good. So good.
And I mean, sometimes I think she has so much grace for the situation that occasionally our role is to be angry for her.
Like, no, that is good.
Do you know, like, because she's in the middle of it, so she can't go there necessarily. And so sometimes we just want to support her in that way. Like we understand what that would feel like.
Yep.
And so we
So
want
good.
to give you that from us too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So,
Yep.
No, and I love the, being angry for her or feeling things for her in the moment. Because I mean, Candace, you literally are grace with skin on. Like that is who you are. That when you walk like that is who you are. And I think some of the beautiful things coming out of it is me, paying more and more attention to the country music scene, literally seeing the impact that you're making as up and coming voices are beginning to speak on things, and there's more people of color within the entire thing. Like, I mean, seriously, like I'm getting like goosebumps right now thinking about it, because like we're sitting with somebody that's doing the heavy work, but that doesn't mean that there shouldn't be a community behind them being like, it's okay. Clock out, come over here, and let us hold you.
Yeah, that is what we do. I mean, I had, like, even recently, we all went to lunch, and I just said, hey guys, this thing happened.
she said it so nonchalant.
I really did just say, hey, this thing happened, and I can only share that in a safe place.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And for me, in that context, like, this is the only safe place I probably could share some of that, and they got to really just give me wisdom, give me counsel, like, empathize, love on me, share truth, and talk through it. So having that safe place, I honestly, if I didn't have that for the last 3 years, I would be in some serious trouble.
It's so good. I love that. Corinne, you, I've known you a long time. I've actually known Candace probably the longest. But Corinne, I've seen you. It hit you hard in 2020. I mean, there was a massive pain point in your story in 2020 that I think I got to walk alongside you with some of that, because you work in. Sometimes you road manage. You're out with a lot of well-meaning Christians. You're in a world where there's a lot of Christ followers that are like, hey, but Jesus says, so we're going to do this and we're going to ignore that. Talk to us for a second about what because again, not only have you worked within a high capacity volunteer role in our local church, but also like on the road, like in Christian events, in CCM, in a lot of these spaces that, whereas Candace was over in the country music scene, you got to see some ugly stuff within a scene where everyone says, I believe in Jesus. And sometimes I feel like that may be more triggering than seeing somebody that's like, to hell with that. Like, I don't even care. Talk to us about your journey the last 2 years and how this community that you're in has helped you in that.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
Sorry. I'm just dropping bombs.
Yeah, I think what happened in 2020 was the, oh my gosh, you like me, but not everyone that looks like me. Oh my gosh, you believe in God, but you ain't reading what he says to do. And so there was this like mind F where I felt like I was in the twilight zone, and I felt like I had no control of anything. Yeah. And no one was safe. Like, because I'm like, if we're reading the same thing, we're saying amen to the same things. If we are raising our hands up in thanksgiving and praise in the same space, and for you to be so anti-human, that was very problematic for me. And it was a rude awakening. And I think what was happening in 2020 was me reckoning with that, like wrestling with that, like, it's safe. Because I thought I was operating in places of safety with people that I thought were safe. And then I go on social media and I see this. Now I want to fight, but I can't. So my only outlet is to internalize that. And to take it to Jesus, but also to find friends that I can relate with and communicate with. And so the gift and the gold of these women is they all had different perspectives of how to speak into that, but they were also navigating that themselves. Like,
sure.
I think in 2020, we all lost some friendships that we had in 2019, or they just don't look the same in 2023. Sure. And I think that is you're grieving.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think what you saw on my face is grief.
Yeah.
And all the things that are associated with that. And so the beauty of the girls is they helped soften like a calcified heart.
Yes. That's good.
There was so much anger that I had, and there was so much distrust that I started to develop in people and in myself and my wisdom. Like, how did I not see this? I never knew. You know what I mean? And so it was such a healthy perspective to navigate that with them, but then to also like to have a Candace who's so full of grace, who I can peace out and treat people like they're dispensable, because, you know, that's the biblical thing to do. But like, she's forced to reckon in that space. And I think seeing her navigate that helped humanize the situation and the people for me. Yeah. Seeing Sarah be in very tough spaces and choose to love and honor, seeing Sharon navigate hard conversations with really close friends and love and respect, seeing Melinda navigate and teach and empower people on social media, a tool that was so divisive at that time. Like, everyone offered me gold, and they were all keys to help heal me. And I'm still healing. I still look at people sideways. I mean, I'm not like, I'm great now because racism is over. People are trustworthy. People aren't two-faced. Like, nah, I'm still like, what you talking about? But I think at the end of the day, what these girls have done for my heart, I mean, there's not enough words to paint a picture of healing that they've created for me. And so I'm super grateful for all of you guys.
Aww. You guys, it's like a big group hug over there.
And you for always checking in.
That part.
And we were sort of playing ping pong, like, okay, who's gonna talk to this person? Because I ain't got it, Carlos. Okay, I'm gonna talk. And then, Corinne, I ain't got it today. Go talk to this friend. You know, we're really doing the work of trying to help our friends understand. And I think that was the hard part. It's like, I've never been a friend to hurt you or to give you something that would harm you. So the fact that you're not willing to hear me out, that was the exhaustive part of it. So like, being able to ping pong that back with you, Carlos, was really great and showed me how to put language to my feeling instead of just like shutting down and again, throwing that person away. Because that's not the right thing.
I mean, well, and to be honest, sometimes it is. There are some relationships that kind of have to end, you know, like in order to keep your own mental health.
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
1,000%.
I appreciate that. I just love you, Corinne. You're such an important part in my family's life, and you are a breath for us. You walk in our door and every single person in our house takes a gigantic deep breath because that's what you are to us. So I just love you. Thank you for sharing that.
There's that.
And you make fun of the fact that I eat constantly. I'm always putting something in my mouth. I got Skinny Pop right now. I'm chewing in the microphone.
I don't make fun of you eating constantly. I make fun of you spilling food on yourself constantly.
Yes.
That is the issue.
It's good. I shake it off. New partner alert. Y'all know what's sitting next to my coffee machine on my kitchen counter right now? I got myself an Aqua True. And when it came in the mail, Heather was like, oh my gosh, this is what I've been waiting for. She's been waiting for me to partner with this exact product. No lie. Listen, what in the world is Aqua True? Well, Aqua True is a product that allows me and the Whitaker household to feel really good about the water that we are drinking. You know, when you turn that tap water, that's how I grew up in the 80s. You just drink it. But the more and more I have researched, the more and more my family has begun to eat and drink clean, the more we know how important clean water is to us. It allows us to know that we're going to be healthy, we're going to be strong, and I'm always trying to build healthier habits. AquaTrue is a water purifier that uses a 4-stage reverse osmosis purification process, and it actually looks so cool sitting on my kitchen counter. That is a really fancy way to say that the water goes through a very thorough filtering process. AquaTrue removes 15 times more contaminants than ordinary pitcher filters. I literally no longer drink water out of my fridge every single time I use AquaTrue. Every single time. Plus, their countertop purifiers work with no installation or plumbing at all, and they have water purifiers to fit every type of home, from countertop purifiers to higher capacity under the sink options. They even have, get this, Wi-Fi connected purifiers and mineral boost options. And what I love about their filters is they last from 6 months to as long as 2 years. Also, this is the best part. You'll save money. Just one set of filters from their classic purifier makes the equivalent of, get this, 4,500 bottles of water. That's less than 3 cents a bottle. It's time to get peace of mind with AquaTrue. Today, my listeners receive 20% off any AquaTrue purifier. Just go to aquatrue.com. That's AQUATRU.com and enter code HUMANHOPE at checkout. Plus, AquaTrue comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you don't like it, just send it back for a refund minus shipping. One last time, that's 20% off any AquaTrue water purifier when you go to aquatrue.com and use code HUMANHOPE. Sharon, this last Sunday was, I think it was last Sunday. Alex surprised me, to be honest with you. I was, sitting on the front row and she starts talking about just how she loved to watch Black church growing up, and I was like, oh, and I'm turning around.
I was like, this.
And I'm looking at Heather, and I'm like, wait, is she about? And only because I've seen. Okay, hold on, before I even get there. And so she starts talking about that, and then she's like, and just the way they worship, it's because they're, and I'm like, oh my God, she's literally going to honor Juneteenth on stage at my church as I'm seeing tweets fill my timelines, because now it's 3 years past 2020. So like white privilege is like suddenly like back on, like it's like popular again to be like racist. And so people are just like, saying all this stuff about Juneteenth. And then my pastor stands on stage and invites Sharon to the microphone. And I'm telling you what, first and foremost, Sharon, you are anointed. Like you are an anointed communicator. You are an anointed teacher. But more than that, like God literally, I know, shifted the hearts of people in our congregation that had been listening to vile stuff on social media that were being discipled by a lot of pundits that were saying that Juneteenth was a Marxist holiday, and within 2.5 minutes, you broke the chains off of them. And so thank you for doing that. And I'm going to actually insert that clip here into the podcast so that everybody can hear that. But then I also want to know, how did you feel in that moment? Like in the moment where the mic got handed to you, was there even a feeling, or was it just 100% Holy Spirit, just because that's what it looked like to me?
It's a little bit of everything. Number one, shock, surprise, didn't know what was happening. And it was in that moment, I had already literally been reflecting on, I was like, God, I know that I praise you. But the fact that my ancestors were able to still honor you and your goodness when nothing in their life would actually dictate your goodness.
Yeah.
And they still had the strength to do that. So it was literally grateful for the legacy of their praise. Grateful for that. Yeah. So there was so much gratitude. And everything else, aside from gratitude, if it made sense, definitely Jesus. Because I was like, what do I say, Lord? I'm so grateful for pastors that honor and that see when it's not popular. When it should always be popular to honor and see people and to hear people. But for some reason, it's not. Not for some reason, but anyway. And so I was really grateful for that.
No, thank you.
And then also, Carlos, I want to honor you because of the bonus episode, Juneteenth episode that you dropped, which if you haven't heard it, it's not too late, okay? Because we celebrate every day. I need for you to go and catch this history, all right?
Yes.
Because one thing that you cannot debate are facts.
Facts.
Okay? Facts and history. Opinions, yes, but not facts. And so what you did in that episode and like literally honoring the facts, thank you for always taking the risk to tell the truth because you see people and you honor people. I appreciate you. But in that moment, there was just a lot of gratitude, a lot of gratefulness. And it's like, Lord, what do you have to say to make me realize the truth of what happened and what is and where we have a choice of where we're going?
It was I told Heather this that day. I think it was a marking moment in our church. It was marking because it was so blatantly our pastor going like, hey, listen, sorry if you think this, but let me just let you know where the heartbeat of this church is. And it was, I just think it was a mark placed down. It was a stake. It was a flag in the ground. And I was grateful that you were the one. I feel like you were supposed to be the one.
Yeah.
And, you were. It wouldn't have been right for anybody else. So thank you for that. Sarah, you're working with Sharon in a predominantly. Can you still hear me?
Oh, and now you froze. Now we can.
Oh yeah, we all froze. Okay, good. Everything froze for a second. Sarah, you work in with Sharon in a predominantly white evangelical space. From the staff to the people that are coming in. Now, there's a little bit more pepper coming in with all the salt, one week at a time, but you're there and you're working for leaders that literally care. I mean, they actually care. Like they're on the front lines of caring. Like they want to hear from you. They care, but still, it's still a complicated space. It's still a complicated space. Talk to us about what may still be complicated. Obviously, not going into specifics or details, but just how are you continuing to navigate for you working in a space like that? And I'm not even saying our church in particular, but just kind of the global white evangelical systems that we've got in America. Like, what's it feel like these days for you? It's 2023 now. Like I said, it's not 2020. For some reason, I don't know what happened, but the last year, I feel like it just went backwards again. Like the last year, people just started getting brave again and being ignorant and bigoted all over again. And I'm like, are we going to have to do this again in 2024? Like, please, like we're tired, But talk to us about this, that existing as a powerful Black woman in a majority white evangelical space.
Cool. We're doing the easy questions today.
Yeah. Listen, we're not talking about Will Smith and Chris Rock this time.
Yeah. I'll start by saying, we all know I'm a crier.
Yeah.
I'll start by saying I am so convinced and convicted of the gospel of Jesus Christ. And I've given my life to the gospel of Jesus Christ. And I've surrendered my say-so to Jesus. He is my Lord and Savior. So I occupy spaces based off of the conviction that I'm meant to be there because He told me to be there.
Great.
So I attended our church for years before I was on staff. And I attended that church because God said this is my church.
Yeah.
And I got to Nashville. I moved on Monday, went to church on Tuesday, and I was like, yeah, this is my church. I'm like, just in case, let me just taste and see if the Lord is good anywhere else. Like, and he is. Like, shout out to all the churches in Nashville. But he just so blatantly said, this is your place. Right. And then even when I got the job offer to be on staff at our church, it was so God. I didn't even have a chance to argue because the way he maneuvered the situation, I was like, dang, you really did all that to get me back here on staff at a church. But honestly, I've been used to my entire life occupying mostly white spaces. So I grew up in a neighborhood where we were one of two Black families in the neighborhood. Again, in all the classes where I was one of a few Black people. And so this time I lead with being there on purpose and because I know that God told me to be there. Yeah. And also shout out to Alex and Henry Seeley. I've never worked at a place where I felt more free to raise my hand and say, this is wrong and I don't agree. Wow. Even if things don't change or even if they change slowly, I know that I can put my hand up and say, hey guys, can we talk about this? And they have led with humility. And even going back to Corinne, like the word catalyst is the right word for her because conversations happened at our church and in our friendships because Corinne put her hand up and said, wait a minute. Wow. And so I wasn't even on staff at that point. It's Corinne. Like she's the catalyst for the change. But even getting to like walk in that with her and now on staff, I'm like, I believe heaven is not segregated. Right. And here we go. Yeah. With cultures all over the world and even looking at it anthropologically, like every culture has a snippet of the beauty and multifacetedness of God. And what would happen if we honored that and leaned into it? And even like, what if we worshiped in another language one Sunday? Because it's someone else's heart song. What if we sing a gospel song because it hits in a way that just other songs don't? Like, what if we opened our worldview to see that, no, this is actually a reflection of God? And what if we join together and we can actually mirror heaven because God created this all. And in heaven, there is no line, there is no division. And so I think for me, I know, like on the one level, I make places multicultural immediately because I'm there. Sure. Like that's just the long and short of it. And I know me being in places makes others feel safe to join the same. Yeah. And so I think in a lot of ways we're all trailblazers, and it sucks sometimes and it's hard sometimes and it's lonely sometimes. Yeah. But it's worth it to see freedom. Like how many DMs have we all gotten? Thank you for occupying the space you're occupying because I feel free to do the same. Yeah. That's it. Like somebody just encountered God because I said yes. What? Yes. That's wild. So it's an honor.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I one of the things that Melinda, I feel like you do very well is if you could put a face next to the definition of friend in the dictionary, like that is you. Like you ladies would agree. You're just so encouraging. You are a great friend. And I think because of that, you have a lot of people that follow you on social media because they will DM me too. Like you posted me the other day and then people are like, oh my gosh, I love Melinda and da-da-da-da-da. But they grant you are a voice that online where people grant you permission to be their Black friend. You have a lot of white followers. You got a lot of, and so talk to us a little bit about how you feel, because I would assume there's some pressure involved with having to are there a lot of DMs that you're having conversations with people? Are they still there in 2023 like they were in 2020? Are you finding that the white kind of suburban mother ally of 2020 is still an ally in 2023? Are you having to, do a little bit more work to remind people what they said in 2020? Because just go ahead. I'm throwing that softball at you.
Gosh. Well, first of all, thank you for saying that. But also, I feel like, especially in this group, I've had one of the easier jobs in that I am mostly in mainstream music. And so honestly, the church world was harder to navigate than the world that I am in the most.
Yes.
So this group actually helped me navigate church, because I was like, I don't understand what's going on over there. Because the people that I'm talking to had so much grace. They had questions. I felt like I was doing a lot of teaching, and it was exhausting and very slow, like one by one process, because I love one-on-one conversations, and I love to answer your questions directly. So I had a lot of DMs 2020, 2021. Yep. But now I feel like the people that I talk to the most are doing well with it. Like they're coming back and they're saying, okay, I read this new book. Have you read this? And I'm like, I don't even know what book you're talking about. Like, how did you find that? So I'm actually, I feel like I'm surrounded by people who are learners and who are actually trying to learn, but it's mostly in the mainstream. The people that I feel like I continue to kind of go back with and have to rehash things with are more in church. And so I think finding how to navigate that well, these women have helped me with that. Because I almost pieced out on church, because I was like, the only people really trying right now aren't there. And I don't know where I don't know where I fit. It felt very lonely, and just like I didn't have a place. Like I loved our church. It just didn't feel safe, and it wasn't from the head down. It was just different people sending messages made it not feel safe. And so these girls reminded me of the real reason I was there, and the heart behind it. And I would find grace in my mainstream people, and I'd be like, yes, they out there, y'all. So I think I've had maybe a little easier road with this, but what has helped me is being pointed to Jesus in the midst of navigating church also. So I'm grateful. I needed that.
Yeah, it is. And we all go to the same church. I mean, we're all there. And what I love about that is, something may be said from stage, and it doesn't matter if we're all in the room or not, but if we are, I can just see like heads kind of popping up, eye contact kind of being made, kind of like we all just know. It's like, okay, there's going to be a conversation later at some point around, a glass of wine and a dinner table about it. You have... you came on my podcast maybe a little over a year ago, and everyone loved it, and people started DMing me. Oh my gosh, they need their own podcast. They got to, we want to feel like we're in the living room with them. That was amazing. And you have officially now, by the point of this recording, released your first episode. It is out. Yes. The Black Aunties have their podcast. Tell everybody why you started a podcast and what they're going to get out of it.
Sarah. Everyone's pointing to
Sarah.
She did. She bullied us into this.
Yes. Okay.
I wouldn't say bullied. Strongly encouraged.
It was strong.
It had been building up, like after we were on your podcast, because people kept saying, because we would hang out and post to Instagram, and people kept saying, oh, we just want to hang out. Like, that seems like so much fun. And we were all very protective over our space together. So we were like, that's not really an option. We love you. We're glad you want to hang out with us. That's not an option, though.
And because of the discussions that we do have, because we've built such relational equity that there's areas that we get to immediately go vulnerable in.
Yes.
Absolutely.
It's so hard with our schedules to do so.
Yeah.
So when we do have that space, it is a very protected space because of that.
100%.
Because we don't know when it's going to happen again. And this is like our one shot to be like, child, what's happening? We're communicating via text, but it's different looking at people in the eye, getting the body.
Yes, totally.
So just to where it's not like this exclusive, like you're so cool. It's because it's a very safe and vulnerable
and sacred. It is sacred.
Yes. But I will say, like, I think we all know, like, because this friendship has brought so much healing to our own lives, there's just something special about it. And so we went on your podcast. We had such a crazy response, like, oh my gosh, it's the Black Aunties, what? To the point where, like, Melinda had a show and someone recognized us, and I was like, wait.
Literally, I was doing the meet and greet after the show, and the aunties were there, and like a group came up, and they were like, "Are these the aunties?" And we were like, "What is happening?
What to do?"
Like, wait, I just got recognized.
Yeah.
Like,
We're like, wow.
Yeah,
what's happening?
And the amount of DMs we got asking to, like, will you please be my Black auntie?
Yeah.
That's sweet.
Yes.
That I think we kind of wanted to a little bit, right? We did want to, right?
Yes, because it felt like it was culminating to this point. And so I was like, great. It was January 1st. We were all together celebrating the new year of this year, and I was like, it's time. What's the day? When are we doing this? Let's go. And so we picked the day, the recording day, and then if you'll hear on our podcast, but Carlos literally gifted us our podcast studio. All the mics, all the equipment came from Carlos, because he doesn't just say it with words, he follows it up with actions, as friends. And we recorded our first 4 episodes, and if you listen to the first episode, within seconds I'm crying. Immediate seconds. But it just was like, no, this is happening, and it's purposeful. And we decided to celebrate. The first podcast came out today. Today. And I remember, because it's been 6 months since we recorded those first episodes, and I was like, did I just make that up? Was I just being mean to people and making us like create time and space? But I listened back to the episode and I cried again, because there is something healing about this friendship, these women together. And I'm like, this is too God breathed. We have to share it. So for everyone who's ever wanted to hang out with us, come on. Come join the podcast. Join in on the fun. I'm telling you, you're going to laugh, you're going to cry, you're going to laugh at us, you're going to laugh with us. We talk about a lot. We talk about friendships. We talk about being safe. We talk about church. We talk about Carlos. We talk about all the things. And I love it because we want to just honor spaces that people occupy. So that is the Black Aunties Podcast. It is live. It is happening. Yes, I can't believe it. No, but we're here.
I know your little faces are on the podcast app. Who knew? It's crazy. It's great. Like I subscribe to it. It's right there on my phone. It just downloads. Everyone that's listening needs to subscribe, needs to download, needs to share it with their friends, needs to do all the things to like let's spike this thing up. Let's get everybody listening to it real quickly. The last question is this, because I can't believe I didn't ask you at the beginning. I've got a lot of new listeners since the last time you were on it, and people may be like going, "Okay, what is a Black auntie? I don't understand what the whole concept of an auntie is. Like just like my Aunt Nancy, but like what's an? So somebody give me what the trueness of an auntie is."
Sharon. Okay, so A Black auntie is literally a pillar in the community.
Yeah.
It's someone that's going to nurture you, that's going to uplift you, that's going to also correct you and call you higher.
Yeah.
But what you're always going to find with your Black auntie, you're going to find safety.
Yeah.
You're going to find joy. And you're going to leave that Black auntie better than you came to her care.
Yeah.
Because she cares so much for her family, for her community, for the people that are around her. So, and all of us have those aunties that are like mothers to us.
Yeah.
Like we hold them in such high regard as we do our mothers, because they've looked after us, they've cared for us, they've stepped in. And not only have they stepped in, our mothers have trusted them because they knew
that's good.
that they were going to lead us along the same path that our moms would. So a Black auntie can be trusted because we're going to lead you upon like a path of goodness and righteousness. And we're going to call you up and we're going to call you out, because guess what? We're surrounded by Black aunties doing the same thing for us. So we know that we haven't arrived, which is why we can continue to journey along with you. And we would have people that will come to us in person, like, can you be my Black auntie? It's like, what you're asking for, okay?
Right.
You get
That's right.
Yeah.
We're not, you're going to get it in all of its fullness and goodness. They're like, yes, that's what I want. And so, so join us on the podcast, and we are some of your favorite Black aunties.
That's right.
Can't be white aunties.
Yeah, that's right.
That's true. Yes.
There are white aunties. In the Black
100%.
culture, we're just so communal.
Yeah.
And it's like the family is raised by a village.
Yeah.
Like it really takes everyone. And so aunties are very normal in the Black culture.
Yeah.
They don't have to be related to you, anything like that. So white aunties, we see you too.
Yes, we do.
We just don't have.
We see you, white aunties. Yes. But and the beautiful thing is, people don't have to fill out an application for you guys to be the aunties. They don't. You can just be the aunties. They listen to the podcast, and you're already in.
Yes.
Yep. That's it.
Hang on. I think it's time for a little Dr. Delight. Hang on. Hey. Beat drops. Men, women, and children, hope is in the building. Hey, Black aunties, thank you so much. I love every single one of you. You make my life richer. You make all of our lives richer. Thanks for being on the Human Hope Podcast. And I love you. And I'm going to see you again, because I'm going to keep having you on this thing.
We love you. Love you.
Hey.